Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game or get the news version earlier, then you can go to their Patreon, where it's, free because this game's finished. Sorry, I pressed that button in my head again. But, they're making other games. You can do that. So, in the last Let's Play, we did the party, which I thought was going pretty decently. It wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the best either. But then both Jenna and Leo were like, Flynn, you are being a terrible person. Leave. Or we're leaving to go see the movie without you. But Flynn seemed to be alright, But then it was just me and Flynn. So we went to the mine so we could get some footage for the thing, and then things got a little flirty, and now we're back at his place for dinner and some drinks and maybe a woo. I don't know. So, reset face. And continue. As we go inside, I'm hit with a blast of warm air that's not too much different from the outside. I air out my shirt. Flynn noses and chuckles. Sorry, but you better get used to it if you want to hang out with a Guyla. I'd hate that. As I follow Flynn into the kitchen, the smell is a bit strange as well. Kind of like sagebrush, which isn't a bad thing at all. That you, Flynn? Yeah, I have a friend over. Oh, one of your reunion friends? Flynn opens the fridge. We have any green peppers left? I hear the sliding door from the hallway and turn around to a somewhat startling sight. A blue lizard. Am I racist for saying that if he's not a lizard? A tall lizard comes in. Okay, lizard. But it's not the height that surprised me, rather his coloring. Spotted blue with pale eyes. I then realize he's a salamander, not a reptile. I suppose I'd seen brightly colored amphibians in Pueblo, but definitely not Echo, and not even Peyton. There's a smile on his face, and I try not to stare. Dax, this is Chase. Hello, Chase. Hi. I reach out to his offered hand before feeling the cool, almost slippery sensation of his skin. Yeah, sorry, I know you guys aren't used to salamanders around here. I cringe inwardly as I realize he caught me staring like a dumbass. Oh, no, I don't mind. Mind me being a salamander? I'm mortified, but he's still smiling. Alright, Chase, that's enough making a fool out of yourself. Flynn is tossing ingredients onto the counter. Peppers, cheese, eggs. He can't help it if he's not used to it. Well, he's always bragging about going to college. Something it serves you better if you just get out more. Yeah. I'm not sure what to say at this point, but Dax saves me from having to try. Oh, please. Daxton is next to me on the stool, with a warm smile still plastered on his face. Yeah, Flynn here was trying to sweet-talk a hyena a few months back. Ooh, hyena? I see Flynn tense up before he turns around, point a knife threateningly at the salamander. Don't you dare. Referred to him as a canine. Like, isn't that something basic you learn in school? Wow, Flynn? Really? Flynn turns back around with a huff. Sometimes you forget shit. He's trying to play it off, but I can see the frills on his back of his head flaring out. He didn't care anyway. We fucked, so fuck off. Daxton rolls his eyes before getting up and airing his shirt like he did earlier. Well, I'm going back to my side of the house. It's frightened son over here. He pats him on the shoulder as he passes. Nice meeting you, Chase. They watch as he heads down the hallway, sliding shut the door. It's cooler on that side of the house? Yeah, dual habit, resistance. I look longingly over at Dax's side of the house. Get your ass over here, so I can teach you how to cook something. The next hour is surprisingly fun, even though half it is spent with Flynn yelling at me about how wrong I'm doing stuff. He calls it chilis rellenos, peppers filled with cheese and meat and covered with egg before being fried. I have to agree with Flynn that it's way better than the diner food, even though the food over there is still pretty good. When we finish, Flynn dumps the dishes into the sink with a clatter before snatching me up by his arm. Hey, shut up, Chase. I frown, but I allow myself to be dragged down the hallway to I presume is Liz's room. Wait, did we eat the food or... Oh. Okay, we did eat food. It's small and simple, but what I'm most focused on is this fairly large bed. He pulls me into to make room and shut the door before pressing me back against it and kiss me full on the mouth. Out of my mouth for the moment, his tongue prods at my lips. I'm not used to the feeling of something so thin and flexible sliding in my mouth, but it's not a bad feeling. His long tongue easily entangles my smaller one. At the same time, his hands grab the bottom of my shirt and pulls it over my head, breaking our kiss. Man, not even getting drinks? As I lean back against the wall, Flynn's eyes play over my body, clearly drinking it in. I narrow my eyes. Hey, you've already seen me naked. I reach forward, undoing his belt, with quick, jerky movements. Flynn doesn't resist, and instead stands there, smirking down at me. If it does, they haven't had any explicit pictures in this game, but, I might just have to go click over there. I give him a smirk in turn, as I rest my hands on his hips before slowly sliding them down, pushing the pants down with them. His tail slides out of the rear. I move my hands around to feel his ass as the pants slide further down. His thick tail twitches in response before I squeeze his soft rear, earning gas from the lizard. I'm so preoccupied with his backside that I almost forget the front. That's when the pants finally drop down the floor, and I find myself face to face with Flynn's woo. I almost go cross-eyed, staring at the taper tip. I hear the lizard chuckle above me as he sways his hips, bobbing his woo in front of my nose. What's that face? Like you've never seen an woo beef or I clamp a thing around it, edged on by Flynn's teasing. His hands immediately go to place, steadying themselves as he finally shuts up. I woo, almost woo on the woo. Leo's the only other guy I've woo, and he's basically the opposite compared to Flynn. Well, his was shorter and thicker. What's in my mouth now is long and thin. Which, I don't know. Long doesn't tend to be good if it's too thin. I start to woo back and forth, suddenly self-conscious, worried that a pro like Flynn might see me as a complete amateur that I am. His reaction, though, says otherwise. He grunts and groans, hips wooing and pressing into places pulled back. I look at his face and I'm surprised to see him looking right back down at me. Also, I should probably just go click here so that I know when I should probably start censoring stuff. His eyes are slits, his mouth hanging open as he gasps. I blush and look back down, focusing instead on his lithe stomach, his faint abs standing out just a bit more with each thrust. For the next 5 minutes, the only sounds is the gasping breaths from the lizard and the occasional thump of my head against the door? Ooh. Flynn breathlessly apologizes each time. As it goes on, though, I can feel the muscles in his legs starting to tense up. I'm coming. I'm just thinking of what some guy says. What was the word? I don't know. It's what Dan Reichert says sometimes. A funny streamer guy. Do you need me to pull something? Flynn must be pent up? I guess I could say that. It's always took Leo at least 10 minutes before he woo from a woo, if that's all. If at all. I feel Flynn tense and start to step back, but I slide my hands up his thighs and squeeze his butt again, keeping him firmly in place. If Flynn is still trying to pull back, he runs out of time because I feel his thingy jump in a place. Oh, fudge! Flynn doubles over sharply, his head slamming against the door, and I do all the way and start oohing. His thin body shakes against me, and I try not to smirk as I feel his clawed feet brush my knees as they dance around in ooh-ooh-wee. I glance up at him again and see the top of his head. And a hand press at the door. His eyes are squeezed shut, and his teeth are bared, and he hisses through them. His other hand is gripping tightly into my headful, and with each ooh he grips tighter. After about 3 oohs, his twitching ooh finally settles on my tongue. When Finn finally definitely is quicker to ooh, it isn't as much as Leo, and I have no trouble getting it all ooh. I see his stomach rise and fall in front of me as he sags and grasps at the door. Fuck, Chase. I didn't know what you did, but fuck her. In the middle of a sentence, I give his soft ooh another ooh. He yanks my head back with a hand on my head, his slick ooh bobbing from ooh. I grin, but then gasp as I'm yanked up to my feet. Might just do another click right here so I know when to maybe stop censoring. Flynn turns with me towards the bed, made difficult by the pants around his ankles, and shoves me backward onto the mattress. He grins at me as he slides his shirt back over his shoulders. Now it's your turn. Wait, back over his shoulders? I lay on my side, head on Flynn's chest, while his arms wrapped around me, his hand stroking my shoulder. Man, I can't say I've had a lot of it, but I've even had so much less of just post-ooh cuddling. Sad. Most people just want to leave. I don't know. Like, I'm fit and stuff like that, but it's like, I don't know. I rub his smooth stomach in big, wide circles, making sure to get every inch of it. I occasionally trace the outline of his chest, as it rises and falls before dripping down low, almost touching his semi-erect ooh. He doesn't seem to be in the mood for another go, though, so I'm content to just lay there and listen to his deep breaths. What's wrong with me wanting to know what happened? I pause with my rubbing, the rest of my paw in the middle of his stomach. He tenses it for a second, so I continue the rubbing. Nothing. I guess it's how you go about it. He grunts. Doesn't matter how we do it. He's gonna be upset. Might be easier if you try to go at it a bit more delicately. Lynn takes a deep breath, and I watch my hands rise and fall with it. He's hiding something. You know it too. I mean, we know it too. It's because TJ didn't do shit. I don't say anything. We lay there for a while, Flynn breathing softly into my ear as his fingers creep over my arm to tense at a nipple. Everyone does, but they still treat me like I'm some sort of monster for wanting to know. I press down suddenly, and he grunts loudly into my ear as he tenses up against my hand again. You don't really think what you did at the river was appropriate. Ow! I cringe as Flynn pinches my nipple. He doesn't say anything, though, and we lay in silence for a while longer. I just said he didn't deserve that. I swallow. Ooh. No. I mean, I know he was a dick, but he came from a rough place. Just listen. Not willing to say anything wrong. Flynn never opened up like this. You guys didn't know him like I did. I stop rubbing and turn my head up to look at Flynn. His eyes are open, staring up at the ceiling. Chase, I need to find out what happened. Flynn, No. I'm sick of wondering. I'm sick of imagining. He looks down at me suddenly, and the expression on his face is strange. I'm gonna talk to him again. Who? TJ? I hear my voice rise in concern. He doesn't say anything. Flynn. I sit up. Don't do that. He glares at me. Yeah? Why not? This is probably the last chance I'll get. But I try to think of something to say. Nothing good will come out of it. If he hasn't said anything until now, then he probably never will. We'll see about that. The implication in his voice sends a chill down my spine. Flynn. Liz looks away from me. What? I'm not gonna do anything. Just talk. And if he doesn't say anything, Flynn stares at the wall. Then I guess that's that. But I want to talk to him, without Leo there to coddle him like he's a little kid. I pull my face in my hands, or put my face in my hands, and rub slowly. I know Flynn would never want to hurt TJ, but he can get so emotional, and what if TJ says the wrong thing? Just let me go with you when you do. Flynn turns his head back to look at me. Why? I just want to be there to keep things grounded. Flynn stares hard at me. Maybe. He likes you, so maybe that'll be good. He continues to stare at me, and I feel a little uncomfortable. What? You just have to promise one thing. What? I say that a bit more slowly. Don't get in the way. Don't try to defend him, even if he's acting all sad and shit. I look back at him, unsure of what to say. I don't want TJ to get hurt, and just the thought of this confrontation is making me feel sick. But I don't want him to be alone when this happens either. The thought of telling one of the others, Jenna or Leo, comes to mind, but I know that'll be a fucking catastrophe if I do. That would be the end of a lot of friendships. Still left a chance that they would survive. Either way, I'm gonna have to promise him if I want a chance to go along. But whether or not I keep that promise, I think in this route, no matter what you do, it always ends the thing. Tell the truth? I promise, but only if it doesn't get physical. Flynn's eyes narrow. What? He continues to stare at me, like he's trying to see something behind me. What? I'm not lying. Flynn gives me the signature snort, and loses his eyes again, closes his eyes. It won't. Look at him skeptically, decide not to remind him about what happened at the river. I sigh, and stare at my naked balls for a moment, feeling a little strange. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, maybe take a shower. Alright. I get up onto my unsteady feet and head into the hallway, wondering if I should try. What's wrong with you? Thursday. Post-coitus. It looks like there's red over in the back here. Yeah, there's some redness that I can't see. I don't know. Spooky. Reset face. I have my eyes blearily, waking up to the sound of something pounding in the distance. I stare up at the ceiling for a moment, then abruptly prop myself on my elbows, looking around confused. Where the hell? Oh yeah. Flynn's room. I'd fallen asleep on Flynn's bed, naked, after I've taken a shower, Pen was taken. Ooh, ooh. Turns out that lizards don't have dryers, so I was left to air dry. I was tired, so Flynn let me lay on his bed on a few towels, and that's where I am right now. Well, shouldn't we just dry down with a tire? Maybe sit up somewhere, be on a stool? I guess I fell asleep. Again the pounding. Oh, it is another day now. I look back to my right and see Flynn curled up, his back facing me. I think he's I think he's naked as well for a moment. Then I see he's got boxer briefs on, the black color blending into his skin. I reach over to poke the rough skin of his scaly back. The frills on his back of his neck flare out a second, then lay back down. I almost do it again, but Flynn's grumpy, annoyed as hell tone stops me. What? I clear my throat. Sorry, but sounds like... I don't have to say it, because the pounding starts back up again, echoing up the hallway. What the fuck? Flynn pushes himself into scene position, squinting at the hallway of the door. What time is it? Flynn rolls off the bed and starts putting on a shirt. I grab my phone, glad to see it's still at half charge. It's 9. At the same time, I notice that I have texts, several of them, from Leo. Shit. What? Flynn hops around the room as he tries to put some pants on. My eyes scan over the texts, realizing who is likely knocking on the door. The message started about 2 hours ago. So, 7 o'clock in the morning? Hey, I was at the motel, and you weren't there. Jenna says she doesn't know where you are either. She says you didn't spend the night there. You and Flynn are the only ones not answering my messages. Are you at his house? Hello? I felt my stomach go into a knot. Yeah, because... Leo! Come on, man! Fuck. Flynn whirls on me, annoyed, now fully dressed. The knocking has stopped, but I'm still uneasy about what I've just found out. I think it's Leo. What? This time, Flynn sounds panicked. He's been texting me all morning. He thinks I'm here now. I show Flynn my screen, but he barely looks at it. He's got his arms folded, his mind clearly racing. You know, he can't find out I spent the night here. I try to keep my voice under control. I know. Yeah, we both know. Yeah, but, Flynn and Leo did a thing, I think. Things are basically over between Leo and I. But that doesn't change the fact that this will bring up all kinds of problems with our little friend group. Flynn paces for a few seconds, then turns back to me. Well, he's gone now. I can just get Carl to say that you spent the night at his... He's already texted Carl. Shit. Flynn groans and hangs back his head. Well, did he ask him if he spent the night there? No, just that he didn't know where I am. At least, that's what he said in the text. I'll just tell him I don't know, and Carl will say you were there. Don't you think Carl would have told... Suddenly, Flynn suddenly reaches out, grabbing my shoulder, and throwing me sideways onto the bed. Oh, we're doing it again? I stare at him wide-eyed, but he's not looking at me. Instead, he's staring at the window behind me. What? He throws his hand out my face, silencing me. Flynn moves to the window, and that's when I notice a big shadow shifting around out there. I scramble to the other side of the bed, heart hammering in my chest. Did he see me? The curtain covering most of the window, but a foot-long gap at the end is just enough to look in. Flynn starts pantomiming in front of the window, shrugging his shoulders and shaking his head. Finally, he drops his arms with a sigh and leans into the crack to crack the window open. What the hell are you doing? Why the hell didn't you answer the door? Leo's voice is angry. Honestly, a lot more angry than I would have expected, despite the situation. I just woke up. I was knocking for like 5 fucking minutes. I'm a heavy sleeper. You're dressed and everything. I just got dressed. Most people don't go peeking in the windows when they don't get an answer, though. Flynn glares through the window. I quickly roll off the bed so I can hide better, even if I'm not in view of the window from here. Listen, I'm just looking for Chase. Have you seen him? No. Flynn shifts his position a bit, in my direction, as if trying to block Leo's view. Looking for something? Yeah, Chase. Well, he ain't here. Why would he be? He stayed behind with you at the party, didn't he? Yep, then ran off to do some project, or something. There's a long pause. Cheetah! Can I come in for a sec? I need a drink. What? Go back to your house, man. You saying you don't want me to come in? Flynn sighs loudly, rubbing his eyes. I'm saying I'm tired. It's 10 in the fucking morning. It's 9, but yeah, I stay up late. Sometimes. Why? Flynn lowers his hand from his eyes and glares at Leo. Listen, I'm not really in the mood for this right now. Also, it's like, dude, you don't need to be like, why are you staying up so late? Huh? It's like, dude. Another long pause. You're acting a little crazy right now, too. Listen, I'll be on my way if I can just come in for a bit. I'm fucking burning up. I see Flynn push his forehead against the glass. Eyes closed, frustration written all over his face. Alright, a glass of water, then get out, so I can go back to sleep. Fine. With that, Flynn closes the window, watching it for a while, before sighing loudly again. Alright, stay here. Got it? If he knows you're here, we both know he'll kill us both. Yeah. Alright. If, for whatever reason he comes back here, hide under the fucking bed if you have to. With that, Flynn turns and heads out the door into the hallway. If I was Chase, I would hide under the thing immediately, because you don't want to be like scrambling underneath the bed and worrying that he'd come in. Just be under the bed and maybe like get like a towel to block his way in case he bends down to look there. And so the last thing he said, that last thing he said has me feeling like shit. Sneaking around behind Leo's back like this is wrong. If I know telling him about it would be worse. If it's my fault that Leo can't get over our relationship, I have the right to do what I want, right? Yes, you do. You broke up, what, a year or two ago? Yeah. You don't gotta explain shit to him. You can fuck whoever. I sigh and press my forehead onto the bed. You can fuck his dad if you want. I would tell a story. Not one of me personally, but, you know. Staring at my crotch, that's when I realize I'm still naked. I look up, listening. I should probably take my clothes and hide them. I hear the front door open, followed by some distant mumbling from Leo. If I sneak to the bathroom real quick, I can grab my clothes. You left them in the bathroom? Maybe stay there until Leo leaves. At least, that way, it won't look as bad if he finds me for whatever reason. I get up and pad quietly into the hall listening. I can hear some clicking around the kitchen, then a murmur of some voices. Oops. The kitchen is practically outside the hall, which leads to the living room. I stand there for a moment longer, tail twitching as I contemplate if it's a good idea or not. The moment I hear Leo's voice coming from the kitchen area again, I quickly tiptoe the short distance to the bathroom. Despite not having come close at all to being caught, my heart still hammers in my chest. Also, fancy looking bathroom. The voices continue to mumble in the kitchen as I start looking around for my clothes. They're folded neatly on the counter, and I quickly snatch them up. Pretty sure I wouldn't smell on you. I catch a few words from Leo that makes my ears perk. Something about smell? Leo smells a lot of things. He has a canine's nose. My eyes widen. Did he smell me on Flynn? I'm pretty sure Flynn hasn't showered since what we did yesterday. My heart rate picks up again as I feel my knees wanting to give out. Where the fuck are you going? This time, I do hear Flynn and know exactly what it means. The only problem is that I'm still naked, in the fucking bathroom. Should I lock the door? Then Leo would definitely know someone's in here and that it's probably me. Fuck. I mouth the words knowing that Leo would hear it if I said it now. I hear heavy footsteps coming up the hall. I definitely can't go back to the room and hide in the bed now. They don't keep coming towards the bathroom though. The movements become somewhat muffled again as they turn to Flynn's room. This is fucking crazy, Leo. If Leo heard Flynn, he doesn't say anything. I anticipate the sounds of Leo ripping up Flynn's room, but I guess he isn't that far gone because things go quiet again. Then there's some pacing around, along with heavy breathing. You realize I could call the cops, right? I hear the closet door get open. I look around desperately, realizing I don't have much time. The first thing I see is the shower curtain in the bathtub. It's a see-through blue color, so there's no way I can stand behind it and not be seen. I hear shifting around in the other room again, and their bickering becomes more clear as they step back in the hall. Panicking and practically numb from fear, I crouch down and pull open the cupboard under the sink. Amazingly, there are only a few bottles of clean solutions, leaving plenty of room for me to squeeze in. As quietly as I can, I crawl into the opening. Reaching back out, I pull the door close, set my other hand against it, as I do, so that it won't spring shut. That's one thing that I would fear, because it's like, when I'm panicking, it's kind of hard to get my hands from, like, jerking at stuff. But, yeah, I'd be like, I would feel like I could knock things over. Everything goes dark, and the voices become muffled again. I back up against the very back of the enclosure, hugging my knees as I try to keep my breathing quiet. It's actually a little while before they come in the bathroom, and I almost jump as Leo's voice booms in the small space. His smell is all over your fucking house. Then you should probably shower more. There's a small silence, and I imagine that Leo just gave him a look that shattered any surly confidence he might have had. Like I said, he was here for like an hour yesterday. And why didn't you fucking tell me that earlier? Because I knew you'd be acting like this. Seriously. Their footsteps shift again, in time with their voices muffling. I dare to let out a small sigh of relief. I can still hear them arguing, but I don't really care though. All them? Let's keep going. You pass through the cupboard door into the bathroom. You follow the voices down the hall into the kitchen. Leo is on his way to the door. He stops in front of it, turning back around to Flynn, who's following close behind. You're really starting to piss me off, Flynn. And you're really starting to freak me out, Leo. All of that still doesn't explain why his smell is all over you. Flynn works his jaw for a moment, eyes narrowed. We roughhouse a bit. By the mine. By the mine. You know how he gets sometimes, and it was really hot. Leo's shaking his head, like he's tired of listening to what Flynn has to say, like he's tired of everything. And then to have it mixed with that smell. Flynn holds his hands up as exacerbated. I jerked off later. Sorry, but this ain't really any of your business. You know, it kind of fucking is, since I planned out this entire fucking thing. Leo's starting to lose his temper again. You know, this isn't like Leo at all. Calm down. Jesus. Maybe he went off to do more research, or whatever. Said he wasn't done at the mine. At the mine. Leo's not listening anymore. He's not looking inside. Staring at the wall, hackles raised. Wait, he is looking inside. Listen, I'll drive around town real quick to see if I can find him before work, alright? Flynn, you know you ruined the whole thing for me, right? Thing? For you? What are you talking about? And I'll be fucking damned if I let you do it again. The anger and spite in Leo's voice is scaring Flynn. Leo, what's going on? But Leo still isn't listening. The wolf turns sharply away, yanking open the door. Leo. Flynn reaches out, resting a hand on Leo's shoulder. But at that moment, the wolf throws an elbow back into Flynn so hard that the lifter is sent stumbling back several steps before falling to his knees. Flynn lets out a hoarse groan, but Leo ignores it, slamming the door shut on the way out. Flynn stays like that, doubled over on the carpet, making soft, rasping noises before his breathing finally comes under control. He stays there for a while longer, absorbing what just happened, knowing that Leo isn't himself either. He also regrets doing anything with Chase. Finally, he looks up, right at you. You decide to leave. There's really no point to try and reason with him. I think we're gonna end it here. Because, though, this is really fucking weird. What day is it again? Like, it was another day, but, like, it feels like things are going... Like, we got all this here, and... This one? Yeah, it's Thursday. We got, like, 3 more days left, but the sky's already getting red and shit. I mean... Let's see, that's... I don't know. Well, that's gonna be the end of this Let's Play. Whew! Didn't think Leo was gonna go full, abusive boyfriend kind of thing. You know? Nope. So, that's gonna be the end of this Let's Play. So, please comment, because I like comments, tell me what you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos to help it grow. And please remember to spay new animals to help control the pet population. And if you want to play this game, it's available for free on itch.io. I also have a Patreon, but not for this game because it's finished. And until next time, another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. So thanks and see ya.